In this video, I will show you how to choose which reason proves that two triangles are congruent. So for example, the options are side, 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 angle, side, angle, side, angle, 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 side, and hypotenuse leg. In addition to choosing which of these five will prove that the two triangles are congruent, I will also show you how to make a proper congruence statement. So first of all, we are given that angle A is congruent to angle E. So let's go ahead and mark that in the picture. So angle A is congruent to angle E. Next, we are told that angle B is congruent to angle D. So let's use a double swoop to mark angles B and D. And then finally, we are told that side AB, which is right here, is congruent to side ED, which is here. So which of these five reasons will prove that these two triangles are congruent? So just focus on one triangle at a time. So I'm going to focus on this triangle for now. Looking at this triangle, I see that we have two angles and a side. So that means this is either an angle, angle, side situation, or this is an angle, side, angle situation. The difference is whether or not the side is between the two angles. If the side is between the two angles, then it's angle, side, angle. If the side is not between, okay, see how this side is not between the two angles? If the side is not between, then it's angle, angle, side. Well, here is one angle. Here is the other marked angle. The side between them would be, if I connected them, is that the side that is marked congruent? Yes. So this side is between the two angles. That makes this an angle, side, angle situation. So I'm going to go ahead and put angle, side, angle. In addition to that, though, we need to make a congruence statement. So triangle ABC is congruent to triangle. We need to be very careful about the order of the letters. Because angle A was mentioned first, that corresponds with angle E. So angle E has to be mentioned first. Because angle B is mentioned second, B corresponds to angle D. So we have to say angle D second. And that only leaves angle F. All right, notice this option below that says the triangles cannot be proven congruent. So here are the two letter combinations that do not prove triangles are congruent. If you see an angle, angle, angle situation, never put angle, angle, angle for an answer. If you see this set of information, that means that the triangles cannot be proven congruent. And the other one is side, side, angle. All right, if you have two sides and an angle, but the angle is not between, see how this A is not between the two S's? That makes it side, side, angle. However, side, side, angle is not something that proves the triangles are congruent. So if you ever see that situation, you're going to say the triangles cannot be proven congruent. For now, let's look at problem number 2. Angle A is congruent to angle E. So swoop and swoop. Angle B is congruent to angle D. So here's angle B, and here's angle D, double swoop. Now, side AC is congruent to side EF. So here's AC, and here is EF. So focus on one triangle at a time. So I'm going to look at this triangle for now. I see that we have two angles and a side. So that's either going to be angle, angle, side, or it will be angle, side, angle. Right? Both of these involve two angles and a side. If the side is between the two angles, then it will be angle, side, angle. If the side is not between the two angles, then it will be angle, angle, side. So which is it? Well, here's one angle that's marked. Here's the other angle. Here's the side that is between the two angles. Is that the side that was marked? No, the marked side is way over here. So because the side is not between the two angles, that makes this angle, angle, side. Angle, angle, side. So now we need to do our congruence statement. So triangle ABC is congruent to triangle. Well, angle A corresponds with angle E. So that means I have to say E first. Angle B corresponds with angle D, so D comes second. And then angle C clearly corresponds with F, because those are the two that are blank. So F goes last. All right, jumping over to problem number 3. We have angle A congruent to angle F. So swoop and swoop. AC is congruent to FD. So here's AC and here is FD. And then side CB, double mark, is congruent to DE, double mark. Focus on one triangle at a time. I'm going to focus on this triangle. What do we have? I see that we have two sides and an angle. So that means this is either side-side angle situation or it's side angle side. The difference is it'll be side angle side if the angle is between the two sides. If the angle is not between the two sides, then this is a side-side angle situation. But please remember that side-side angle does not prove triangles are congruent. So if it turns out to be that one, I'm going to circle this down here and leave this blank. So which is it? Well, here is one side that is marked congruent. And here is another side that is marked congruent. The place where they meet will be the angle in between. So see how the two sides meet right here. That means this is the angle between the two sides. Is this the angle that is marked congruent? No, this is not the angle that is between the two sides. So that makes this a side-side angle situation. However, do not put side-side angle on this line. Leave this line completely blank and circle the triangles cannot be proven congruent. Since the triangles cannot be proven congruent, there is no congruency statement to make. So don't sit here and try to match up these triangles and don't put anything here. They're not congruent. They can't be proven congruent. So don't make a congruency statement. All right, let's jump over to problem number 4. Okay, we have angle A is congruent to angle F. So here's angle A and here is angle F. AC is congruent to FD. Mark, mark. AB, double mark, is congruent to FE. Double mark. Let's look at one triangle at a time. So go ahead and focus on this triangle for now. What type of information do we have? I see that we have two sides and an angle. So that means this is either going to be side-side angle, or it will be side, angle, side. The difference is whether or not the angle is between the two sides. If it is, it'll be side, angle, side. If the angle is not between the two sides, then it will be side, side, angle. And we will say triangles cannot be proven congruent. So which is it? Well, sometimes it helps to trace the sides. So here is one side that's marked, and here is the other side that's marked. Look where they meet. They meet here. Is that the angle that is marked congruent? Yes. That means this angle is between the two sides, which makes this side, angle, side. So we can go ahead and make our congruency statement. So triangle ABC is congruent to triangle. Well, A corresponds to F. So let's go ahead and mark that first. Okay, so now be careful. I need to, the next angle needs to be the one that corresponds with angle B. Notice that angle B is touching the double mark. Okay, angle B is blank, but it touches the double mark. Which one of the remaining angles touches the double mark? Is it D or is it E? All right, so hopefully you can see that it's angle E, okay, that touches the double mark. So that's why I'm going to put angle E next. And so I've got FE, so that only leaves D. Okay, jump over to problem number 5. So there's something that we can mark just based on the way the picture looks. So vertical angles are always congruent. So these angles right here are vertical angles. Let's go ahead and mark them. Now let's focus on one triangle at a time. So let's focus on this triangle. What type of information do we have? I see that we have two angles and a side. So this will either be angle, angle, side, or angle, side, angle. The difference depends on whether or not the side is between the two angles. That makes it angle, side, angle. If the side is not between the two angles, then it's angle, angle, side. So which is it? All right, let's look at these two angles. So here's one angle, here's the other angle. If I connect those dots, that tells me the side that's between the two angles. So is that the side that's marked? Yes, it is. So the side is between the two angles, which makes this angle, side, angle. Now we can go ahead and make the congruence statement. All right, well, I see A is first. A is the blank angle, so it corresponds with E. So E goes first. Next is angle B, which is a single swoop. That corresponds with angle D. So now I have E and D, that only leaves angle C. Jump over to problem number 5. Go ahead and mark the vertical angles congruent, just like before. All right, so the vertical angles are congruent. Now, focus on one triangle at a time. So let's focus on this triangle for a moment. What type of information do we have? I see two angles and a side. All right, so that means this is either angle, angle, side, or angle, side, angle. The difference depends on whether or not the side is between the two angles. That would make it angle, side, angle. If the side is not between the two angles, then it will be angle, angle, side, and we will say triangles cannot be proven congruent. So which is it? So let's focus on the two angles. Here's one angle, here's the other angle. This is the side that is between those two angles. Is that the side that is marked? Yes, it is. So the congruent side is between the two angles, which makes this angle, side, angle. Now for the congruency statement. Okay, angle A is blank. So is angle D. So D goes first. Next is angle B, which corresponds with angle E. So we have DE, and that only leaves C. All right, jumping to problem number 7. Vertical angles are always congruent, so let's go ahead and mark these as congruent. In addition to that, we have this statement right here. C is the midpoint of BE. So segment BE is this segment right here, BE. If C is the midpoint, that means that this side, BC, is congruent to this side, CE. So we can mark those based on the given. Now focus your eyes on one triangle at a time. So I'm going to just focus on this triangle for now. What type of information do we have? I see that we have two angles and a side. So that means this is either angle, angle, side, or it might be angle, side, angle. It all depends on whether or not the side is between the two angles. If the side is not between the two angles, it will be angle, angle, side. And then we will pick triangles cannot be proven congruent. So let's see. Focus on the two angles. Here's one angle that's marked. Here's the other angle. This is the side that's between them. Is that the side that is marked? It is. So this side is between the two angles, which makes this angle, side, angle. Now for the congruency statement. Well, angle A corresponds with angle D. They're both blank. Angle B. Angle B corresponds with angle E. You can tell because of the single swoop. And then that just leaves angle C. Okay, what about problem number 8? Go ahead and mark the vertical angles congruent. Boom and boom. Now here's a tiny bit of additional information. We are given that C is the midpoint of segment AD. So here is segment AD. C is the midpoint of this. That means that this side is congruent to this side. AC is congruent to CD. Now let's back up and focus on one triangle at a time. So if I focus on this triangle, I will ask myself what type of information we have. I see that we have two angles and a side. So that means this is either angle, angle, side, or it will be angle, side, angle. It will be angle, side, angle if the side is between the two angles. It will be angle, angle, side if the side is not between the two angles. So which is it? Well, focus on the two angles. Here's one angle and here's the other. If I connect these vertices, that will reveal the side that is between them. So that's the side that's between the two angles. Is that the side that's marked? No. The marked side is way over here. It is not between the two angles. So that makes this angle, angle, side. All right, now we can make the congruency statement. So triangle ABC is congruent to triangle what? Well, angle A. A corresponds with D. They're both blank. Angle B. B corresponds with E. Single swoop. That just leaves angle C. I think this is a good place to pause this video. If you want to see me do the rest of these problems, go ahead and watch the next video in the series.